5 years have passed since the historical North-South Summit meeting. What is your view on the recent anniversary ceremonies, various commemorative events, and the resumption of the North-South Ministerial Level Conference? First, if we could start with you, Professor Kimura.
Yeah, the situation between North and South Korea today may be explained by the following 2 points. First, on the political or military level, it is very hard to see any meaningful or important development between the North and South. General Secretary Kim Jong-il's visit to Seoul, which was expected 1 year after the North Summit meeting in the year 2000, was not realized, and other official meetings on the ministerial level have not left any major result for peace and unification on the Korean Peninsula. But social and economic inter-exchange between the two Koreans have steadily developed in these 5 years. North-South trade is expanding, and the Mount Diamond or Kumgansan project has successfully invited more than 1 billion South Korean people to the North Korean mountains. The Keson Industrial Zone project newly started in December last year also started to attract South Korean capital in North Korea. Ensured the political development of interrelations is almost at a deadlock, but the inter-exchanges themselves are steady.
What are your thoughts on the past 5 years of the Korean Peninsula, the North nuclear development, the suspension of North-South ministerial level talks, and the six-party talks that have run aground? It doesn't look like progress and tension diffusion has been made. What are your thoughts on this?
Anyway, the main objective for DPRK or North Korea is to get security for their regime in the international society. Their goal is not economic development or some social reformation. So development of the nuclear weapon is also just a measure for their security of their regime. In other words, as long as isolated DPRK or North Korea feel threat from outside, and as long as they doubt their neighbors may attack them, they will not stop any nuclear development. The dilemma here is that changing something in North Korea without any risk for the regime is almost impossible. So the political interrelations between the North and South are destined to stay deadlocked. It might be very hard to change this situation.
South Korean President Roh Moo-hyun met with U.S. President George W. Bush on June 10th to try to repair ties, while getting support from President Bush for South Korea to be the mediator in North-South talks. Can this be seen as an opposition for South Korea?
Well, I don't think so. The U.S. government still have much frustration against what we call balancer policy, which President Roh Moo-hyun opened this year. It is understood that South Korea opened their new strategy and intention, taking a neutral position between the Chinese side and the U.S.-Japanese side in the near future. The U.S. government never welcomes seeing their alliance taking such a position. At the U.S.-South Korean summit meeting on June 10, both sides emphasized the importance of peaceful and diplomatic solution of North Korean issues. However, nuances of the two countries are different. South Korea will not give up any diplomatic negotiation, even if North Korea continue nuclear development. But the U.S. may go hardline once they understand they made all diplomatic efforts. If the United States feels the existence of South Korea as their ally, the U.S. may drop out from the process, although this is one of the worst scenarios.
On the other hand, compared to South Korea's soft approach, negotiations between Japan and North Korea remain at a standstill because of the abduction issue and other factors. There are also calls for stricter measures from within Japan. Last of all, if you could give us your opinion on what Japan should do to help diffuse tension between the North and South and for peace and stability in East Asia.
Of course, it is not so easy task, or even for Japan. But, a very important point is as follows. During the age of Cold War, Japan and South Korea were in a similar situation. As a member of the West Camp, we share the same understanding that the communist country are our major threat. But after the end of the Cold War and the collapse of the Soviet Union and the North Korean economy, in the 1990s, our situation have changed dramatically. For South Korea, which was under military threat of North for a long time, almost for a few decades, North Korea today is understood as not yet a major threat. However, for Japan, which has enjoyed a peaceful situation for more than half a century, the development of ballistic missiles and nuclear weapons are understood as new and serious threat. These kind of both countries' understandings are very natural because for South Korea, who experienced the Korean War, they have their reasons to feel ill against create weak and poor North Korea. Contrary to Japan, there was no actual military threat from North Korea because of the development of the set of missiles and nuclear weapons. So they also have their reasons to feel today's situation as a new and dangerous one. For our security, Japan may need to raise its voice more loudly. But here, the important thing for Japan is to make our position clear and let the international society know our strategy and our position. Maybe the most serious problem for Japan about the North Korea issue is that the existence of Japan is becoming smaller and smaller. Japan and South Korea are standing at the crossroads of their our international relations. We may go different directions. However, if we do not decide our direction, we will lose ourselves.
For your insights, Professor Kimura.